To me, a showstopper fragrance is a fragrance that is not for everyone. It's not necessarily mass appealing, but it is attention grabbing in a very unique way, and it exudes confidence and memorability. All the fragrances in this first edition of Showstopper Fragrances will be rich and complex profiles that center around boozy ingredients like rum, cognac, and whiskey. For the most part, they all pack a punch in the performance department. But as usual, your mileage will vary. So don't buy them because they seem like they will be strong performers. Buy them because their scents sound interesting and pleasant to you. If they happen to perform, that's a bonus. So make sure you sample first. I will have links to everything down below. And just to get it out of the way, we will not be talking about the usual suspects you might expect in a video like this. Kilian Angel Share, Kilian Black Phantom, Margiela Jazz Club, Initio Side Effect. Not because they're not good fragrances, they're actually great fragrances. I own many of them and enjoy them. But you don't need me to share them with you because number one, I've already done that in past videos quite a bit. And number two, a lot of other people are doing the same across YouTube. Let's change it up. So here are 8 show-stopping fragrances to consider in 2024 Boozy Edition. No real order here. First up from the house of Kilian is another one that's not talked about much. This is Straight to Heaven. This is one of the OGs, came out 2007, and this can be characterized by lots of rum. Imagine drenching a patchouli leaf, earthy, damp patchouli with rum, dried fruits, and lots of cedar wood. It's both dry and wet at the same time, a marginal amount of sweetness, but in the air, it's kind of intoxicating. It's something that draws you in, and it's very unusual. So if you want to smell different, again, this is kind of a key factor with show-stopping fragrances. They're ones that catch people's attention because it smells like maybe something they haven't experienced. Then this is one to check out. Get a sample though. No guarantee you're going to love this because it's a little odd, but it's good stuff. Straight to Heaven. From a designer brand of Cartier, Pasha Parfum. This has a general liquor note to it when you look at the note breakdown, and I couldn't tell you exactly what it is. It's kind of whiskey-ish, but it is surrounded by lots of resins, sweet ambery notes, creamy, smooth sandalwood. Has a little bit of this gentlemanly, mature vibe to it. It just smells like grown man. Definitely evening vibes here. Super classy and very special for being a designer fragrance. Pasha Parfum. Up next is my scent of the day. I actually haven't worn this in several years, but it's a fragrance I've always loved. I just have to be in the mood for it, and I'm in the mood for it because we're filming boozy fragrances today. I'm wearing from Nishane, Fan Your Flames. When you first spray this fragrance on, the only word I can use to describe it is outlandish. It is outlandishly boozy. That rum note just it's like you're being waterboarded in rum.
That sounds horrible.
I promise it's a lot better than that. Rum and tobacco is what I get right off the bat. Sweet, rich, but a little bit ashy, dark, and smoky, but also this creamy coconut vibe. So it's almost like tropical drink, but then you have this other contrasting aspect all wrapped up in it that is dark, woody, boozy, smoky, and even a little bit mossy. It smells like nothing I've ever smelled before. This was my first love from the house. Again, don't wear it a ton, but when I do, man, I really enjoy this stuff. And I only need 2 to 3 sprays because it is nuclear. That is Fan Your Flames from Nishane. From the house of Roja Parfum, we have a fresher option here because it doesn't have to just be dark and sweet and smoky to be a showstopper. We have Burlington. This is one of the most luxurious, elegant, and complex, fresher citrus-based fragrances that I've smelled. Oh man, grapefruit, juicy, mouth-watering, sweetened up by some more ambery notes with a beautiful rum note with a lot of spices and maybe even some slight animalic tones in there that are very, very slight. Once again, it is a fresher option that does still smell complex and very interesting. May not be everyone's taste. There is cumin in here, which can rub some people the wrong way depending on your skin. But I think it's worth a sample if you haven't tried it yet. This is one of the best from the house, period. Burlington 1819 from Roja Parfum. Before we continue, if you missed the announcement, the membership is open. We now have a membership on YouTube that you can join today. We already have a couple handfuls of members, those who have joined the Fresh Lounge, to get access to very exclusive perks and just some more behind the scenes interaction with me, and also just to support me in this channel to continue doing what I'm doing. If you want to be a part of that, there's going to be a link in the description, and also next to the subscribe button, you should see a button that says join. Go ahead and hit that, and you can learn more about what it means to be a member today. Now, you know, we could not talk about Boozy fragrances and leave this beautifully colored fragrance out, and it doesn't just look pretty, it smells amazing. From Argos, we have Triumph of Bacchus. Before you ask, no, I actually have not yet tried the X-Trade version. Maybe I will at some point, but I am enjoying very much the original. Still to this day, it is one of my favorites from the house. This is a lot of fruits, tobacco, and definitely some rum, peach, apple, some spice, definitely wet rum, and an earthy but very elegant tobacco make this fragrance definitely a head turner. When you dress this up, especially at night in the cooler months, this stuff is alluring. It really gets beautiful attention if that's what you're after, but I think you'll just be wrapped up in how good you smell to you, because that's what happens when I wear this. I'm just like, dang, I smell good. I don't care what anybody says. This is Triumph of Bacchus. As usual, use the code FRESH10 for 10% off anything at Argos, link down below. I'll be honest with you guys, this fragrance reminds me a little bit of another fragrance. The fragrance we're talking about is Ámbar Dominicano from day 3. And it does remind me a little bit of Roja Parfum Creation E, also known as Enigma, which is not in this video because it is another beautiful scent that is talked about all the time. However, I do find this to be a little bit adjacent to it. It has some similar facets. It has a rum note and a coke note mixed with a pretty prominent benzoin, which is a kind of medicinal, vanilla-like resinous feel that can almost be a little bit sparkling. And it gives it this rum and coke feel that is sweet and kind of rich, but also has a little bit of a lively brightness to it. Just a beautiful and addictive scent profile. Quality is fantastic. Performance is fantastic. And if you wanted to compare it to the Roja, it's definitely nowhere near as expensive, but I wouldn't call it a clone. It's adjacent and it's lovely. One of my favorites from the house. Ámbar Dominicano from the indie brand Day 3 Fragrances. This one was love at first sniff. I can easily tell you this will not be everyone's love, but if you can appreciate this one, then you know. From Penhaligon's Halfeti Cedar, primarily a woody fragrance, but there is a really nice rum component that is prominent. Now, you look at the note breakdown of this and you might think it smells like the first fragrance we talked about, Straight to Heaven. Prominent rum, dried fruits, cedar wood, even a little bit of patchouli in here, but I think what sets this apart is the proportion of things. In addition to other aspects, this does have a peach note which adds more of a juicy quality. The patchouli note is nowhere near as noticeable as it is in Straight to Heaven, so you don't get that damp earthiness as a base. The base is primarily dry, peppery woods. I will warn you, if you smell this up close, it can come off a little bit stuffy. Again, up close, it's very dense, it's very intense. It may not be to your liking. If you happen to try this, waft it to you, bring it to you in the air. Again, it's great quality, but it's just a lot for the nose to handle. I happen to love it. It's so elegant. This is stuff I would dress up in the evening time when it's not hot. It's definitely gonna stop the show. That is Halfeti Cedar from Penhaligon's. And finally, if any of these fragrances was going to be the most show-stopping, I think it would be this one from Amouage. Definitely polarizing, definitely not for everyone. This is Overture Man. Based on cognac, sweet, dark cognac. However, lots of spices, some animalic notes, a little bit smoky. It does kind of smell the way it looks. This ambery, boozy richness that smells kind of brown in a way, but there is an edge here. Spices and animalic notes tickle the nose a bit, add a very, very slight funk, but not in a dirty smelling way, just in an intriguing way, in a textural way, and in a way that in the air is something that will catch attention. I bought this myself a few years back. At the time, it wasn't available here in the United States, so I had to buy it from overseas. I paid over like $300 for it. I think you can get it cheaper nowadays because it is sold in the United States, but I don't regret it at all. I think it was worth every dollar. A little bit like Fan Your Flames, not something I reach for all the time. I might wear this a couple times a year, but when I do, it's a very special occasion and I love every second of it. Let me know if you enjoy Overture Man. If you have not yet tried it, do get yourself a sample. I'm going to link them down below. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these fragrances. If you've tried them, are they showstoppers for you? And if you have not yet tried them, once again, links down in the description to check them out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.